there is a way to deal with the collective guilt. You know, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, and what
Oh
Chase
yeah.
is talking about, right? Like, is there a way for a society to sort of, you know, deal with the collective guilt, you know, and move on, you know, because it feels like America is just not capable of fucking moving on, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like original sin repackaged, you know? It's like everyone feels a little bit of guilty about anyway. And I would take like a Jungian approach, like we all have repressed desires, and that's probably what we feel guilty about. And if you give someone like a label and say, actually, you don't feel guilty because you want to have sex with your mother, you want to kill your father, and so on and so forth. You feel guilty because you're like in some metaphysical way, you're like partly responsible for what this white guy did 200 years ago. And that I don't get. I think people already feel guilty about being human and everything that comes along with it. And like I've been listening to a little bit of history, like when I go to sleep. And what I realized, like I was listening to the history of Russia from like 1900 forward. I was like, history is just people killing each other. Like there's no good history. Things never turn out well for very long. I was like, that's what we feel guilty about. I don't think we feel like you feel guilty because slavery happened 100 years ago. I think you feel guilty because you're a human being and you have an innate aggression and a lot of like very dark, twisted drives that society's kind of like help you repress. But that's what you feel guilty about. And
Right.
until we deal with that, I think you're going to be able to tell people they feel guilty for any number of reasons.